Okay, guys, here we are with round 4 of Zenkai Showdown 2. Tanja is on green Gotenks and Bartek is on Gamma. At this point, Gotenks went undefeated so far. So yeah, that's pretty cool to see. We see that Gamma went first, and now it's Gotenks. So, what do you think, Pete?
Yeah, well, it's obviously it would have been nice to obviously cast the games live, but obviously you guys watching this wanted us to upload these, casted. So obviously Damien was so kind to ask me to cast this with him. So I'm looking forward to doing that.
Yeah.
It also looks like again, correct me if I'm wrong, but looking at the sexy playmat that's on the field for the Gamma player. Did he come third at the last one?
Yeah, Bartek actually came third at the last Zenkai Showdown event, and also he was playing Gamma, so he's an
Oh,
expert
okay,
Gamma pilot.
wow.
So he's
Yeah, it's a.
stepping. Yeah,
I was just gonna say it's a good looking
yeah,
playmat.
it is very sexy. So he is stepping for his unison, and as far as I can see, he's swinging with his leader and he's flipping.
Yeah, it's very typical of Gamma turn two. And then we'll see. Oh, he's just straight away passed. I like that. I personally don't like. I mean, he hasn't got anything in his energy as well. But one thing I've noticed a lot of Gamma players do is they'll be at 2 energy, they'll awaken, and then let's say they've got like the Android 17 or 18 in the energy, they'll play one, which unfortunately is a bit of a risk because if he puts like a non-Android on the top card, or even on the top 5. I mean, in theory, you shouldn't miss or whiff on them nowadays, especially with the amount of androids there is. But I never like doing it myself. I think it's a bit too much of a risk. But typical Gamma play though. Unison turn 2, Awaken. Nothing new there. But one thing we do have though is this Gotenks, which is very interesting. And he's going to drop the Unison down as well. Very nice Unison for the deck. For a long time, I don't know if you remember, but Gotenks players used to use the other 2-drop.
Yeah, the Vegito who draws a card when you
Yeah,
Union Fusion.
exactly. And then when they did the reboot on this Gotenks, this Unison came out with the starter deck, and for quite a while it wasn't used. And then all of a sudden they made the switch to it. So I've not played Gotenks myself, so I'm not quite sure if it is clear that one is better than the other. I really liked the -7 on the old Unison, but I have a feeling probably nowadays, especially with Black Smoke being around, you'll never -7 with it anymore.
Yeah, no, man.
So there's probably more reason to have this Unison now. So this again is another star deck card. So it allows them to Union for free. Puts on the field, which also allows you to awaken with your leader as well. Because if my memory is correct, I think if you do a Union fusion, you can awaken.
Yeah, you can
With the
awaken
reboot.
when you do that's the condition basically, and you need to, if I recall correctly, you need to have like 2 energies. You cannot awaken turn 1 basically, but when you Union Fusion, you get to awaken. So she's sending the Fed Gotenks to the drop, getting her fusion pieces back, and then swinging, I believe, at the leader with what he has a marker on him, so he's like 20k. Yeah.
Yeah, I must admit, after these games, I'm probably gonna have to spend some time learning Gotenks. I think for even as a competitive player, Green obviously hasn't really been in the mix. But as I'm casting more, I mean,
This is
wow.
huge. This is, yeah, because she didn't attack the leader, she attacked the Unison.
Yeah.
So this is just immediately removing it.
Yeah, this is huge. This is one thing I really loved about the green one, and why I think it's so good, because back when Boo Unison was at 4, it was the perfect answer to Boo Unison, because you would swing your leader into the Boo Unison, you'd combo that, which would give you 20k, which removes a marker. Then for anyone that's not aware, you can Z charge it, and then it's got an auto. When you Z charge it, you pay 1 green, and then you can basically -3 markers from your opponent's Unison. So that would basically mean a Boo Unison dies with 1 card and 1 mana, which or 1 energy, should I say, and that's just fantastic. It's so good, so good, and you get Z energy as well.
Yeah, it's so good. It's a tool for a lot of things, you know. Like for example, if you're playing, it's also good in a not only in a blue, it's also good in a yellow matchup. If you're, for example, if your opponent isn't counting on that Gohan, and he does, I don't know, like the SS2 Gohan Unison or something, you can just blow it up after the first attack. Like yeah.
And we basically see the Gamma player pretty much doing the same back, but obviously with black smoke instead, so it gets rid of his Unison. So now it's a pretty even game in terms of both players have lost their Unison. So we're probably just going to wait and see which one gets their Unison again. So obviously, this is the bit I'm on about now. So Gamma's playing this ramps, and if you ramp a non-android, it's gonna, it's gonna hold you back. However, with a deck like this, with the amount of androids going in, I think you're gonna be fine nowadays. Now, one thing to pay attention, and again, this is something that players should always be doing when they are playing and looking at things. The one thing I've noticed there is the android 16 and the energy now, the 7-drop. So one thing I've noticed with a lot of Gamma players now, they've been packing that card, and then if they've been packing that card, it means they're running the Android 21 SCR, the new 4-drop.
Yeah.
So one thing I've noticed is sort of that combination. So one thing I'd be doing now if I was the Gotenks player is that would be in my mind that he's got that particular SCR, and not having to worry then about hatch or. I mean, we'll see how it ends up being if we're right or not. But that would be my my thought process at this point in time, really.
I'm just checking. That's like Android 21 something, basically. Transcended Predator.
Yeah,
that's the SCR. So we see Gamma player passing his turn. They are both at 5 lives at the moment. He's picking. He got his cell back into his hand. He's placing down 2 multicolors. And we see now it's Gotenks' turn. And she's gonna have to put on some pressure, like you said. Now there is the information what is the SCR in the deck, and that's a terrifying one. So down comes the Grim Reaper of Justice.
This is such a good card.
Yeah, so good.
Exactly. It's again, it's one of the things that makes the deck so well. And then again, if I was the Gamma player, the SCR, you probably know that Gotenks it's either going to be Cell Xeno or Cell Max. I don't expect it to be anything else. And again, the reason Cell Xeno was so good in this deck is because literally these fusions are just six cost.
Yeah.
So just 2 of them on the field, and then instantly you've got enough for Cell Xeno, which was perfect, really. So sometimes it's quite interesting how the numbers all align together, basically. So not much going on. You can obviously make these ghost tokens, which won't do much work, but they are a threat there. I'm guessing from the Gamma we're just going to see a typical floodgate, because that tends to be what Gamma does nowadays.
Yeah, there we go. Here is the floodgate.
Ooh, discards a Unison.
Well, maybe now he's thinking, he doesn't know how many of these Gohans she's running. I would assume 1 more. And with Green's now tendencies, you never know. The Z deck could have the Jiren in it, which can also demolish a Unison, and it's not difficult for Gotenks to charge Z energy. So like maybe it's like better not risk it at the moment with
No, it's
Unisons.
it's very very valid point there,
Mm.
David. And to be fair, um a very good one as well. I think personally the Unison is so good that you do it anyway, because again it forces them to use the Gohan, and it also means they're costing 1 mana as well. Now this is the card that he's just charged there, the Android 21, because that's also another floodgate, and again this is something that can come off the 7-drop Android 16. Again, it doesn't necessarily mean they have the SCR, but that's also a floodgate. It's quite an interesting change that Gamma's made, where they're using this Android 17, sorry,
Hmm.
16, to abuse and bring out some interesting choices and interesting Android 21 techs. Whether or not it's good or bad, I'm not quite sold on that yet, but it's an interesting, I think, personally.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree. And this, I mean, Gamma is a deck that is known for floodgates, and if you're playing a floodgate deck, this Android 21 is one of the best ones in the game. I think it's one of the best
Yeah.
ones in the game.
Yeah, definitely. And it's quite interesting that he actually played a unison. So he had
Hmm.
two in his actual hand, and I guess that's why he decided he could discard one, um, which is quite interesting. So already the Gamma player has seen 3 unisons. So again, if I was the Gotenks player, that would be my priority to look at killing that third one. And then chances are he's never going to play a unison for the rest of the game. That would be again my thought process on this as
Hmm.
well.
Yeah, likely. So
Yeah,
he's leading.
I think it's going good for the Gamma player overall. Like he's not lost really any life. He's getting a field together. So I think he's in an alright spot at the moment.
Yeah, so he charged the Android 18, let the battle begin counterplay, which I
Hmm.
think is a good call. She hits only 4 cost or less, right? So there's not. She doesn't hit battle cards that are as big as Gotenks' one, so
Yeah,
that's
very
fine.
very true, very true. I mean, the thing is though, what it does allow, or at least the reasoning, is you can also with Gamma you can use your energy as a hand
Yeah.
later on. So, and that's what's quite clever as well. So you can charge. I mean, we saw it, before in like Ollie's games. Like with your super combo, for example. If you're sitting there at 6 life, you may as well charge it and pick it up
Mm.
on your next turn around when you're probably going to be at 4 life. Again, it depends on sort of what you want to do, really. But that's again the advantage of Gamma that you can, hide things or put things in your energy, and then pick them up later on,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, that's a. I mean, yeah, of course, you are giving your opponent information what you have in your hand, but still, it doesn't really help much when they can't do much about it. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Because especially when it comes to floodgates and things like that, you're just expecting that each turn, really.
Hmm. So in comes another. No, 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 no. So she
He's
picks
just
up.
searched for it, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to see a Reaper of Justice again this turn as
Hmm.
well, because that's the thing with these floodgates. It just stops so many attacks. Personally, I'd probably swing with the leader first before playing anything else, because what you don't want to do is fill your field too much of battle cards, especially because if Gamma's got a Sal, which I believe he does,
No, definitely.
then
Yeah.
then he can board wipe, and then all that hard work of pulling all the battle cards on the field then easily gets destroyed. So I think, he needs to, like he's doing here, he just swings with leader. If he's met with a floodgate, you just kind of, pass if you like. You don't worry about it too much.
Mm.
So I think that's fine.
Okay, so she's swinging into the leader.
But there's also what's really good with this unison. It obviously adds markers on each attack, and you have the ability to literally just keep getting the energy as well, which is absolutely amazing.
So they're discussing something. They're making sure everything is checked. He comboed with his floodgate, charged it into Z energy, and now the Reaper is swinging for the leader, I believe.
Yeah, I'd say he is. Because I think, how many markers do you think that unison's got? About two, is it?
Oh man, I think it's two. Like from this angle, I think it's two markers.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
super
combo. I think that's fine. So we'll see what else is planned for this turn.
What? Yeah. This is the android. So he's going to. He's arrivaling him?
Yep. Because what's really good is you can just search your deck for an Android 21 as well.
Yeah. He searches the deck for either a floodgate or an SCR. That's.
Yep. So obviously Gotenks has responded with Freezer, which is great because obviously you can kill 7 or less.
Due to the angle.
I can't see what he got though.
Yeah, I can't see either due to the angle. And now he's playing. So,
Okay.
So
he's
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, this is the misplay part.
Yeah.
Yeah, but because you can't because Tanja played charismatic villain, she can't play focus breakthrough, and even if she could, it cannot hit a 4-drop. But this was an honest mistake. It's fine. So we sorted it out at the event. Like going into round 5 and playing against an opponent like Bartek, it's super stressful. It's super stressful, man. So mistakes happen. That's fine.
Yeah, it's unfortunate when they happen, but like you say, it's an easy resolve. Just got to pay attention and make sure it doesn't happen again, really.
So she's attacking with the unison.
Yeah, the unison's a nice simple 15k. So it's a good little unit to swing with. I am curious why he's not attacking into the unison. So I don't know if maybe that is a sign that he's got like the Gohan or he just wants to ignore it and just sort of move on from it.
Or maybe I think we are seeing it wrong. I think the unison has 4 markers on him.
Oh, okay, right, fair enough then. Yeah, if it's got 4 markers, it's slightly different. It's just again. As a player, what I'm thinking is, like I say, he's got, technically that's his 3rd unison. So if you kill it, realistically, he's not going to have another one all game. But yeah, we'll see what happens. So I think he's contemplating using his effect. So yeah, what this 1-drop does, because this was an anniversary card, it's a very good card. You reveal a union fusion target. So like in this case, the Reaper, and then you search for the targets for that card, which is quite a nice effect because again, if you're missing any pieces for the combos, it just allows you to search for them, and that's what's great about this deck. So many pieces of your deck you can search for, so you don't have to go, oh, I've got no fusion targets. That's fine. The unison searches, and then also it's like when they die, the Reapers, they also pick them back up as well. So it feels like a very consistent deck. But maybe if it was any other color, it would be tier 1 maybe. But
likely, yeah. I mean, if it were red, it would also, minus something, ignoring barrier when he dies.
Very true, my friend. Very true. So just the standard stuff's really happening at the moment. So it looks like he's just swinging into. Okay, he's swinging into unison with lead by the looks of things. He might be scared of the minus. I mean, I can't quite see how many markers are on the unison.
There are 3 markers on the unison.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I would rather, like go get rid of this Grim Reaper or take leader instead of just going for the unison, but
I think with the leader being on 3 life, I think you just swing at leader at this point. You make sure that the unison is not going to minus you, but
the leader is a the leader Z awakens on 3 lives, but because I don't play a lot of Gotenks, I'm not sure does the leader Z awaken for free. I don't think so.
I will double check while we're
Yeah.
thing, because like I say, my knowledge unfortunately of Gotenks is quite low. Gamma I've played tons against, and I can at least tell you what that looks like. But when it comes to Gotenks, it's definitely a deck I've been meaning to pick up because I did play the original one quite a few moons ago, but I haven't picked it up recently. So regarding the Unison, you can Z leader, you can do it if you've got 5 or less life, and it's 1 green.
Yeah. So
bring it out.
So she's locked out of the Awakening, and Bartek now just played his SCR. He got 2 lives from it, so he is back to 6. No, he got 1, so he's on 5 lives, and Gotenks is just on 1. Like this isn't looking well for Gotenks.
No, definitely not. I mean, it looks pretty, I think, pretty over. Because this is, what, 40 base, is it? On the SCR?
I think it is.
So, potentially looking at 50. Again, sorry about the glare, guys. It's making things a little bit harder. Plus, again, this is obviously recorded. So again, it's quite hard to see everything at this angle as well, unfortunately.
We're trying our best, guys. Yeah, this is it. This is GG. Bartek wins this match. It was quite an interesting, guys. And we will catch you. This has been Damien, and this is Peter. And check out the next game coming very briefly.